Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another fantastic episode here at the Ringside Chronicles. We are here live at the Laredo Energy Arena with Ring of Honor superstar ACH. ACH, how are you doing?
Doing good. How are you, buddy?
Great. Thank you for coming. Tell us, what's it like? What was the Laredo crowd like? You already had your match. What was it like here?
It actually felt like home. I came up in San Antonio, training and wrestling in San Antonio. And the Hispanic crowds are always into it, man. You know, unfortunately, there was a lot of music going on in the back, so it wasn't as intimate as it usually is with, like, the crowd being so close, but it was still, like, it felt very, you know, I was very comfortable because it was just, like, my roots, you know, wrestling in front of a populated Hispanic crowd, so it was good, man. I loved it. The otras, and the, you know, my Spanish is horrible, but...
We picked up on some of your Spanish words, and it was pretty good.
What did I say?
I know you yelled out Azúcar.
Yeah. Shout out to Rocky.
That was pretty good. There was a few other ones. I think you were also yelling like Otra, you know.
Otra, yeah, I love that. Yeah.
So that was pretty good. And I know as a spectator, I was having a good time. I looked at the crowd; they were having a good time. I know it's a little hard when I guess there's something going on. You can't get that immediate feedback.
Oh, you mean when I'm in the ring? Or?
Yeah, like when you're in the ring, you can't get that immediate feedback.
No, dude. You always got to listen to the people, man. Like, I mean, when I'm out there, man, I mean, how can I say this without sounding so creepy about it? Because I want it to be like, oh, when I'm out there, it feels like I'm making love to the people.
Right.
But it's that type of feel, you know. It's a very passionate feel. It's a strong connection. It's a bond that I have with the people when I'm out there because, one, I'm out there to have a good time. Two, you can see my passion come because I'm just having fun. And if you're having fun, everybody's having fun. It's the best icebreaker. You know, it's the best icebreaker. You know, I'm not afraid to go out there and make myself look like an idiot. And the people, when they see that, you know, they're just like, okay, this guy's just here to entertain us. And he's athletic, you know? And it's like, well, thank you, you know? And that's all it is. As an entertainer, I think, you know, you have to not be selfish. And I think a lot of guys in wrestling can be selfish as far as like, oh, I want to play the badass guy and, you know, I'm just going to stand there and I'm just going to get these chances. And it's like, okay, dude, I'm going to go out there and just look stupid. I don't care. I'm just going to give these people what they want. Right. These people pay their hard-earned money to come see us perform, whether it's $5, $15, and what the tickets to get inside here were like, what, 50?
They were boarding on, 20, 30, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So people probably didn't even want to come see wrestling and they just saw a ring and was like, oh, a negra. Cool. Oh, the big cherry guy. Okay. And so to me, it's like, this is my chance to sell ACH to a crowd that's probably never seen them and to sell the product of LWA because, you know, I'm a spokesman for, you know, Ring of Honor no matter where I'm at. And if a promoter brings me in, especially to this type of environment where this is not his usual crowd, I am helping promote his show. So that was my job tonight. I just helped promote LWA and whatever else wrestling promotion I work for.
Great. You mentioned San Antonio being your roots. Let's go all the way back there. How did you get into professional wrestling? How did that start?
I am a mutt. So my parents are divorced. So I spent legit half my life in Austin and one half in San Antonio. So when people usually ask me, where are you from? One moment it'll be like Austin and then the next is like San Antonio. So I usually just say, oh, Austin and San Antonio. And they're just like, yeah, okay, cool, whatever. Because they're just like, who says both? Right. But I originally started fresh out of high school, like 2 weeks fresh out of high school with George DeLaise, who runs, what is it called now? I want to say it's TCW. No, that's B. Oh, it's AAPW. I started with George DeLaise. I was there for maybe 2 to 3 months. And then I packed up all my stuff without saying a single word to my mom, and I just jumped up and I moved to San Antonio. And I didn't move for wrestling. I moved for personal issues, for a relationship. I thought that was going to go far, but it didn't, unfortunately, but it happens. I moved there. Bubble the Animal, he called me. He's an old wrestler. I believe he lives in Arizona now. He called me and he was like, do you still want to wrestle? And I was like, absolutely. And he was like, well, I'm going to hook you up with Jerry Reyes, who is Virus. I don't know if he's ever been here before.
Virus. I've heard the name. I don't know if he's performed for the
Virus. I think he does like a Mass Lucha gimmick now. And so that's when I got hooked up with him. After that, let me see. It was when my first day of training with Virus. I kind of got retrained. But my first day, that was when I met Gabe the Babe. who is like I guess you could say a legend throughout San Antonio, man. He's been up and down I-35, man. Wow. Yeah, he's been all over Texas. He's a Texas icon, if I could say. I met Kevin Knight, who was Dragon X at the time. Chino, who works for Chewy now. I met a lot of those guys when I broke in again, and that's kind of where I started there. And I was training with Virus, some days with Gabe, some days with Kevin. Never really got. Chino was always around, but he was there too sometimes, and I mean, it was a tough upcoming.
What was that? If you can remember that first match, your first real match in front of an audience.
Wait, the lucha match, or are we talking American match?
You tell me where you want to start.
I was sitting in a crowd at TWA, which Lewis, I think they're still running. I think CJ is the booker now for him. But I was sitting in a crowd with my girlfriend at the time. And I believe a luchador got too drunk and got belligerent, which is not surprising in Texas. Right. And he was asking for more money. So Lewis was like, F you, I'll find someone else. So he sees me in the crowd and he goes, you got gear? I'm like, well, yeah. He's like, good, because you're not going to need it. I have this lucha smash for you. I got this lucha get up for you and everything. Like, he gave me boots. The boots didn't fit, so I had to wear like amateur shoes. Like, it was really weird. It was Orgasmo Tron. And if you know Spanish, you know exactly what that is. I was the sexual alien predator. I looked like a big giant black sperm. Like the mask, I looked like the mask. Like, it was weird. Like, the mask was all patent leather, and then like I had this like big long horn, kind of like Majin Buu, but it was more like it was more like pointy and more like an arrow. Okay. And like I had black gloves. Well, at that time I didn't wear the black gloves yet, and I had a full body suit that I had to like strap in like a baby diaper, and then I had the long tights, and it was so funny because always performing in San Antonio and just all around South Texas, I've always been the only African American in the crowd or in the show, so it's like pretty obvious if you see him pull a black guy out the crowd, and then like 10 minutes later there's a black guy in the ring. So it's like, and everybody's like, you got to stay sacred to the the lucha, don't let anyone see your face, and just be very mystique. And it's like, the only black guy here, bro. There's nothing mystique about this. Like, I walk out, it's like, Orgasmo Tron. And on record, anyone can vouch for me. Anyone can vouch for me. Before Alberto Del Rio was going, see, that was my gimmick. That was my gimmick as because I didn't know any Spanish. So every time someone would say something, I go, see. That's all I would do. I go, see, because my girlfriend at the time taught me that. So, and I would always go, poquito español, see? And that's all I would say. But I would just go, see, and it was over, I guess.
That's crazy.
But you can ask Gabe Debate. I really did do that before Alberto.
Wow, that's fantastic. That's great. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and we're just going to take a short break. We're going to be
take breaks?
We take breaks. We've got little sponsors and promos and vignettes and everything.
We legit take breaks?
Yeah, we do.
Are you going to run a commercial like highlights of me or something?
Absolutely, we will.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Are you going to play The Show Goes On?
We'll play The Show Goes On.
You know what that is?
No.
That's Lupe Fiasco.
Oh.
It's my entrance music in other places. I was kind of sad that I didn't get to use it here tonight.
Yeah, I knew that was going to be...
But it was cool. I still got to make love to the music. I still was feeding off the music. I had comeback music.
That's right, you did.
That was the highlight of my day. Was I sold up, and I was like, and the music was playing, and I was like, oh my god, this is so amazing, and my dream's coming true.
That worked out. So yeah, we're gonna do that. We're gonna take that music, we're gonna put it to the highlights of your match. So we'll be right back after this.
Lay. Sir. Yeah.
Kane is in the building.
Already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come to the show goes on. Alright, already the show goes on all night. Till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they would see the sun? Just remember when you come to the show goes on. Have you ever had the feeling that you was being had? Don't that shit that make you mad? They treat you like a slave, put chains all on your soul and put whips up on your back. They be like through they teeth. Hope you slip up off your path. I don't switch up, I just laugh. Put my kicks up on they desk, unaffected by they threats. Then get busy on they ass. See, that's how that Chi-Town made me. That's how my daddy raised me. That glittering may not be gold, don't let nobody play me. If you are my homeboy, you never have to pay me. Go and put your hands up. When times is hard, you stand up. LUP the man, cause a brand that the fans trust. So even if they ban us, they'll never slow my plans up.
Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Alright, already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on.
One in the air for the people ain't here. Two in the air for the father that's there. Three in the air for the kids in the ghetto. Four for the kids that don't wanna be there. None for the niggas trying to hold him back. Five in the air for the teacher not scared to tell those kids that's living in the ghetto that the niggas holding back, that the world is theirs. Yeah, yeah, the world is yours. I was once that little boy, terrified of the world. Now I'm on a world tour. I will give up everything, even start a world war for these ghetto girls and boys I'm rapping around the world for. Africa to New York, Haiti then I detour. Oakland out to Oakland, Gaza Strip to Detroit. Say hip-hop only destroy. Tell them look at me, boy. I hope your son don't have a gun and never be a D-boy.
Already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show goes on. Alright, already the show goes on all night till the morning we dream so long. Anybody ever wonder when they will see the sun? Just remember when you come up, the show.
Did La Llorona drown her children, or is she telling the truth about this mystic beast who walks among us?
No, they could have heard any Pachuco. But the stories they tell me about you convince me that you're the right man for the job.
I just want that beast to get what he deserves.
Chupacabra. Myth. Monster.
People need faith in their lives to keep moving forward. The only superpower you need is your corazon.
What are you? Some freaking ghost hunter now?
I'm the man! Yeah!
Please welcome our court captain, away!
This is ACH, and you're watching Ringside Chronicles. It is over 9,000!
So ACH, what'd you think of that break?
It was very brief.
It was. It felt almost like nothing. We've just been going over your career here. Any particular matches, stories, feuds that come to mind that you just want to toss out there?
In Texas or just
anywhere?
all over?
Anywhere.
Well, I mean, when I first started training with Virus, I was a flamboyant, not flamboyant, that's not the word I want to use. I was very aggressive as far as like my ability. Like I knew I could do it, and I had ways of showing people I could do it, and it rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. And sometimes it's not even me like saying, look what I could do. It's just how I am. And a lot of people see a lot of good things in me, and instead of like, you know, ignoring it and letting me die, their way of helping is pretty much to be aggressive back by, downplaying me and saying things to me. And some people may mean them and some people may don't, but that's just, I guess that's just the nature of the beast. I guess that's how some people express their love for you, more of like, big brother love, tough love. And once we brought in a luchador from Mexico, Virus, and Virus told him to be very snug and stiff with me. So when we were doing drills, like he would whip me into the turnbuckle and he would like yank me, and I was like, whoa! But to me, I'm just like having fun, like this is great. And then like he would stretch me and put me in holes, stiff me and chop me, and I was just like, wow, okay, I guess this is what wrestling training is then. And then like a couple of years later, Virus, they was like, yeah, we kind of, not a hit, but he's like, we kind of put you, we put a target on your back and let him know that, stretch you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, there it is. Okay.
That's why it was like that.
So till that day, I always remember that and I always replay that in my head. And that's one of the things that keeps me grounded today, I mean, I don't know. Some people come across me and they take me, in the wrong light. Some people are just like, oh, Albert's an asshole, ACH is a jerk, blah, blah, blah. And it's just like, nah, dude, I'm just like you, man. I'm just like, the dude sitting in the second row eating a hot dog. I'm like this couch potato that sits at home and watches Ring of Honor on TV. I'm just like everybody else. I don't try to put myself on a pedestal at all, because I always know if you're gonna stand on a pedestal, someone's always there to yank the chair from under you. Like it just does you no good. And when it comes to this state in general, I love the state so much, and I am a billboard for this state, and I like to think that
Texas.
Yes, this is my roots. I like to think that everything that I'm doing now, I would like to think it is opening doors for like a lot of the younger guys like Cherry Popper and like a lot of those guys from NWA Revolution. I'm a really big fan of those guys. Just like, Masada did for me. Just like Paul London, he's from Texas. Just like, the great Shawn Michaels and all the guys before him and before them, the Von Erichs, I feel like in Texas, since we're so far at the bottom of the map, it's hard to get that recognition. And Texas is so big, everything we do here, to us, it means something. But once we leave Texas and we go somewhere else, everything we did here, it means absolutely nothing. So we have to start all the way over. And I had to go through that same thing, leaving Texas, I had a long list of, a lot of accomplishments that I was very proud of. But when I go there, Eddie Kingston, he told me once, he was like, how long you been wrestling? And I was like, 8 years. Don't mean shit. I was like, all right. He was like, where were you wrestling? I was like, down in Texas. Don't mean shit. I was like, all right, there it is, brother. Like, I guess it don't mean shit. But it was true. I sat back and I thought about it, and I was just like, yeah, I may have earned the respect of everybody back home, and well, not everybody, but I've probably, a lot of people look at me a certain way. Some people look at me a certain way back home, but I'm still in a constant battle with myself, and I'm still in a constant battle to prove to all the guys outside of Texas, like, I belong here for a reason. Me moving halfway across the country, to prolong my career, to go further, was not a waste of time. I did not make myself uncomfortable for a reason. I did it because I love this. I have a passion for it, and I want to be the best at it. And that's why I did it. So I'm still kicking rocks and still trying to prove to everybody, I guess, that I guess I belong. And I'm not even one of the guy, and you got this on film, I'm not even a guy that really likes to prove people wrong. I think there's nothing, I think there's no satisfaction out of proving people wrong, Because I can prove you wrong right now, then you can just go, well, you can't do this, then I'm just going to keep doing it and doing it and doing it, and you're going to find something new, and then, well, I'm working for you now. I'm not working for me anymore.
Yeah,
so
that's a good way of putting it. You mentioned a passion and love for wrestling. Have you been a lifelong fan? How did that get started for you?
Man, I got into wrestling around the time Hogan was getting ready to do the big NWO turn.
Right.
An African kid named Bo got me into maybe 20 years.
Bo, we hope you're watching.
He's probably not even a wrestling fan anymore. I'm pretty sure he's like every other wrestling fan or every old wrestling fan that goes, I used to like it when The Rock and Stone Cold was on there. Okay. Rikishi was my favorite. All right.
Good choice there.
Yeah, that's usually what it is. Everybody's like, I was a big Rikishi fan.
Right.
Too Cool was hot.
They were very, very hot. I remember at the time. They'd get some huge pops. And the crowd would go crazy for the dancing and then the theme music would hit. There it is. Let's see if we can find the music. We'll play it over there. So you started around that time. What drew you in? How exactly?
Man, I'm not a big comic book collector. I don't collect, but I like to keep up a little bit. I have a little knowledge, I guess you can say. And I've always loved superheroes. And watching wrestling, it's the physical part of it. I love sports. And, it came off to me as a sport. And it was unlike anything else, It was kind of like when you meet your wife for the first time. God, I hope I don't get married someday, because if she sees this, she's going to be like, what? But it's like meeting your wife for the first time, and you're just like, I just knew you took my breath away. I just knew I had to be with you. I can't explain why I love you or why I fell in love with you. I just know that we were meant to be together, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to be with you for the rest of my life. And I mean, from my mom banning wrestling in the house to I
think a lot of our moms.
Dude, she would not support it. She wouldn't buy the toys. She wouldn't buy the games. It was bad. I used to get written up every Monday or every Tuesday because I would be talking about either the pay-per-view on Monday, and then I'd be talking about Raw on Tuesday, and then I got effed up because on Friday when SmackDown started coming around, it was like, Howard! So I would sit there and just especially when I lived with my father, he didn't have cable during the whole kind of invasion thing. So I used to just be in middle school just talking to this guy so what happened? And he's just like, man, blah blah blah. I'm like, oh my god, The Rock, what? Who's Brock Lesnar? And I'm just my mind is blown because I didn't have cable, so I had someone telling me all this stuff. And to me, that's a true love, man. Usually, if you don't have cable and you can't watch wrestling, you're just forget it, I can't watch it. But I was like, someone feed me this. Who's my drug dealer? Someone sell me wrestling right now.
Who are your favorites?
Man, I have a very odd list. I was a big Triple H fan growing up. I don't know why I was attracted to Triple H. I just thought he was so cool, the bad guy. I don't know what it was. Diamond Dallas Page was one of my favorites. I liked Glacier only on WCW Revenge, though.
That was a great game.
It was a great game. I only liked him.
Me and my brothers, we go for hours just playing that game. That was a great game.
If it's anything, AKI Man was my favorite.
Yeah, it was THQ Man. That was.
Oh, it was THQ Man?
It was both. You could
okay.
switch between THQ Man and AKI Man. It was one of those characters.
Val Venus became one of my favorites. The wrestler that really made me, and I always give shout out to this guy. The wrestler that made me really want to pursue wrestling as a career is Shelton Benjamin. When I saw him, I was just like, man, this dude's an athlete. He's amazing. And what really attracted and gravitated me towards him was there's usually a stigma with African American wrestlers that we have to either dance or sing or rap. Right. And, we have to be a certain way. They categorize.
Fit into a certain mold.
Yeah, exactly. And, he was everything different. And at the time, I was in high school. I just really wanted to be an athlete bad. Because growing up, I had the typical dreams of being a Dallas Cowboys, who I absolutely hate now, but I wanted to play, professional football. Right. And when I was in high school, I didn't do all too good in football. And I just wanted to be an athlete. I just wanted to show people man, I can be a good athlete, lifting weights and running and just being, Terrell Owens minus the ego, I just wanted to be that, I wanted to be that. And when I saw him, it was just if he can do it, I know I can do it. And I was like, I'm gonna be a pro wrestler.
And we could see some of that Shelton Benjamin inspiration in your match. It's very athletic. very fast paced. Very very just wrestling oriented. Not a lot of hardcore punches, stuff like that. Just very move for move. You were trading with your opponents, and I think that shows through. And you mentioned Shelton Benjamin, definitely shows through in your style. How did you develop that style? Did you always want to have this style, or did it evolve?
A lot of it is evolution from what I was. I've always had a big imagination. Someone always asked me, "What if you can name your wrestling style? What would you call it?" And I was like, "Oh, Final Fantasy style." It's just like it's just out there. It's always different every match. It's like it's never the same. Final Fantasy is never the same. It's always different. So it's like it's just like this big world. Like the stuff that goes on in my head, man. God, they would love to just dive in one day, wouldn't they? It's like I always just like think to myself like, what would a superhero do, or like what can I do that's different? In wrestling, everything's been done, so it's like, well, what can I bring to reality that everyone thinks that can't be brought to reality? Like the flash kick, pretty sure anyone can do it, but when I started doing it, it was like, wait a minute, like that flash kick, like wait, Guile.
Exactly.
When I started doing the Liu Kang kicks, everybody was like, what? Liu Kang kicks? Like Mortal Kombat? And I was like, yeah, that's pretty cool, right? Like, who's gonna do that? No one's gonna do that. So I've always just thought outside the box, and like as years go on, I've dropped stuff, I've brought stuff in, and then it's just helped me just mold who I am today. And I'm still sculpting who I am as a wrestler and a performer and an entertainer. So, no telling what's going to happen within the next year, 2, 3, 4 years, no telling what's going to happen. One day I may just be flying in wrestling. Just like flying to the ring.
How did you do that? Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Probably came from a video game.
Yes, no, don't worry about it.
That's great. Well, ACH, we're going to go ahead and we're going to take one more break. Is that cool?
We can take another break, but I want you guys to know these breaks are very long.
They are. You have no idea. I had to shave twice. They
get free haircuts here, too.
They do.
They got a nice haircut.
That's great. Well, so we're going to be right back with some more. Don't go away.
Whoa! G'day, mateys. This is WWE legend Bushwhacker Luke. And when you're in Laredo, there's only one place to get your comics. And that's Legacy Comics. That's the place. You gotta go behind these walls and see what they've got. Figurines, comics, they've got the works. So get your A down here and get inside for the best place in Laredo. Or should I say, Texas. Right, guys? Right. Yay!
Vamos a darle la bienvenida a una leyenda del cuadrilátero. Leyenda dentro de lo que es lo exótico. Señoras y señores, chiquita pero picosa, la reina del cuadrilátero, ¡Cassandro!
Morena, ¿cómo estás? Estamos en Cuculandia.
Maricón. Eso es lo que es un exótico luchador.
Being you, I've been gay all my life, and people can tell like a mile away that I was a little Tinkerbell. So what happens? They smell you. It's like a dog, man. And then they get you.
Soy Doctor Maldad. Los rudos somos privilegiados por el diablo. Somos lo único que deberíamos estar aquí en la tierra.
I'm only gay up my ass, but you come and get me right now and you'll see who I am.
You will leave with pain.
This is the Mad One, and you're watching Ringside Chronicles.
Alright, we are back here with the Ringside Chronicles with ACH. We've just been going over his career again.
I just want the people to know that before we went to commercial break, I was drinking this. When you
was-
came back, I was still drinking it during the break.
Right.
And it still stayed the same. I don't know what's wrong with these Gatorade.
It's we got a little time lapse, time warp or something. You mentioned Ring of Honor several times. How did you get into that? I mean, how did that come about? You working with Ring of Honor for Ring of Honor?
I always tell people I got signed in 2010. It was when I first met Delirious. He saw me wrestle for the first time, and it wasn't like one of those things where it was like, gotta have it. It was just like, loads of potential, work on these things, blah, 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 this and that, da, da, da. And the next thing you know, 2 years later, I moved to St. Louis. And then, I just kept grinding, working hard. And, he just happened to become the booker of Ring of Honor. And then he noticed that I was popping up everywhere. And he was like, man, I really want to bring you in. I like your style. I think we can fit it in with Ring of Honor. I think it'll work well. And I mean, the rest is history that we are still making.
Yeah, absolutely. We're still. Who have been some great opponents in Ring of Honor that you really had some standout matches with, or someone that maybe you haven't worked with yet, but you would love to work with?
My match with Davey is definitely one of my favorites. I look up to Davey really a lot. He lives in St. Louis too, and I worked out with him and trained him. And this guy has go on all the time. He does not have an off button. He is possibly the hardest working man in pro wrestling. He has the best work ethic I've ever seen as a pro wrestler. I don't think there's no one that tops that man's work ethic or passion. And if I can have anybody's work ethic, it's his. And I try my hardest to work as hard as he does. I mean, but he's a different type of animal, man, and he's what I inspire to be. And he's the man, dude. I know he gets a lot of slack, but it's you don't personally know him, so you just know what you hear, and he's a genuinely nice guy. He's just a hard working dude that just doesn't keep his mouth shut, and I respect that because he's honest about it, And we need a lot more honest people. Someone that I'd like to work is actually Tommaso. I did a little something with him in the pay-per-view. I liked what we did, but I would really like to shape it up one-on-one. Hopefully that'll happen soon.
Absolutely. What do you think of, for any fans who don't know, a lot of the WWE's top stars right now came through Ring of Honor. CM Punk, Daniel Bryan, Seth Rollins. How do you think that reflects on Ring of Honor? That these guys just started there pretty much, came through there, and are making big names for themselves.
It's good. It's good. It comes back to us. It does really good for us, and we've capitalized off of every opportunity we've had this year. I mean, Ring of Honor is on fire, man. I mean, we have to be the number 2 or number 1 promotion in America right now, dude. There's no one stopping us. We are absolutely on a tear right now, and it just seems to be getting better and better with the relationship with New Japan, the pay-per-view a couple of weeks ago. Dude, we're just unstoppable.
You mentioned in New Japan. Have you traveled? Where have you traveled?
I've not traveled anywhere yet. I actually just got announced to go to the UK Preston City Wrestling in November, so looking forward to that.
That'll be great. What about across the United States? Where have you wrestled in the US, other than Texas and St. Louis?
Man, brother, I've made some rounds. Oh man, from New York to Jersey to Philly, the trifecta of wrestling there. Minnesota, Cincinnati, the whole Cleveland, St. Louis, Illinois.
Any great crowds other than the Texas crowds, of course?
Oh, hands down, dude. It's got to be the PWG. Oh my God! Do you watch the DVDs?
Yeah,
it's so unreal. Just imagine it's like at a high 10 when they're watching it on DVD, but they're live. It goes to infinity and beyond. It's so unreal. There's no offense to any other fans, but there is no feeling and no fans like the PWG crowd. It's so unreal. It's so unreal.
Yeah, they definitely. Passion, I guess, is the best word we can put it to describe it.
They come to see wrestling. They come to have a good time, and those are the most important things like you can come to a wrestling show as a fan. Now, those are the things that you should actually want to do, is like to have a good time and just watch some wrestling. And that's exactly what they get. A good time and some good wrestling.
Absolutely, absolutely. ACH, you know, we're going to go ahead and we're going to be wrapping up our interview here. Any final thoughts for our fans, for the Laredo fans, the LWA fans, your fans, Ring of Honor fans, anything?
Man, to all the fans here in Laredo, I had a really great time. I mean, what? It's my first time out here in Laredo, and I really want to come back. I had such a great time.
We would love to have you back.
I had such a great time. Thanks to the lovely crowd here in the, what is this?
This is the Laredo Energy Arena.
Energy Arena. I was about to say Thunderdome. I don't know why.
I don't know why. 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. Thunderdome.
Yeah. Thank you guys for all the support throughout the years. It's been a very long and hard-fought career, and everything that I have, I owe it to you guys. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for you, and that's legit. You guys helped mold me what I am, and I'm going to always have the Texas-shaped heart forever, no matter where I go.
That's great. Speaking as just a long-time, lifelong wrestling fan, it's always a pleasure being with someone who you can just feel the love and the passion for wrestling just coming up, just not even in the ring, we're just sitting here talking about it, and I know it's coming through to the camera and everything, just how much you really love and enjoy being out there with the fans. I just really want to say just thank you for everything you've done for wrestling, everything you've done for the fans. Thank you. And absolutely, we hope to have you back, not just in Laredo, but here on the Ringside Chronicles.
I'm going to come back. I had a good time. And those breaks!
And now, and this right here, this is our last break, and we're going to go ahead and goodbye.
We're going to break.